Welcome back, X-Wing fans. My name is Matt.
I'm John.
We are Wookies on X-Wing.
Hosted by Northern Gaming Network.
Alright, so today we are reviewing the second half of the latest wave. It's the Brick, otherwise known as the Decimator.
The VT-49 Decimator. It is every Imperial's wet dream, including mine.
It's a flying brick, but the thing, oh, that looks so good.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, finally, the Empire gets a turret.
Yeah, it's
quaint.
It is. It's a nice change, you know. You have the fire spray where you can shoot out his bum, but now you just have, I can shoot anywhere I want.
Yeah. It is big, it is beautiful.
It's brutal.
And it comes with a bunch of cool cards.
For sure. Now, originally, when I saw this thing previewed online, it's like, alright, this is awesome. I thought these were the guns. No, it's this dicky little thing on top. But you know what? That's alright. This ship is a heck of a lot bigger than I thought it was, so that makes up for it.
Yeah.
So as usual, we'll be reviewing the pilots and the dial and the upgrades that come with the ship.
Alright, well, you know that this guy is a baller because the highest pilot skill card that you get, pilot skill 8, is a Rear Admiral. Rear Admiral, I cannot pronounce his name. Chirano, something. It sounds kind of French. The Decimator has 3 attack dice, pretty good. 0 defense dice because dodging is for schmucks. 12 hull points because you're not dodging, so you might as well just tank it. And 4 shields because Imperials love shields. And so his ability, or hers, is when attacking at range 1 to 2, you may change one of your focus results to a crit result.
So it reminds me a lot of Luke of change of focus to an evade, but a little nastier because you change of focus to a crit.
Yeah, so it's really cool because you don't necessarily need to spend your focus. You don't need to spend your focus defensively because you don't need to worry about that stuff. So you can target lock because this thing can target lock, and yeah,
it can only target lock and focus. But I mean, it has 3 crewman upgrades, a torpedo upgrade, and a bomb upgrade. So
yeah, so you can use your actions for crewman and modification and elite pilot skill upgrades. So that's where you can spend your action, and yeah, you can focus when you feel like it too.
If you want, I'll target lock. Let's go for it.
Yeah, high pilot skill. It's 46 points, so it's a bit pricey, but very high pilot skill. Has elite pilot skill, so you can put veteran instincts if you want to try to meta for phantoms, but fairly solid. Like right out of the gate, I'm a Rear Admiral. I'm going to be a boss. I'm going to kill stuff. Let's do it. All right, the next is Commander Ken Kirk.
He's weighs in at pilot skill 6. Now this is also very this reminds me a lot of the YT-2400 in that the top pilot is awesome, the bottom named pilot is really neat, but the middle guy's kind of okay. This is interesting. So Commander Ken Kirk, he's pilot skill 6, and his abilities: if you have no shields and at least 1 damage card assigned to you, increase your agility value by 1. So as long as you're hurt, your agility goes up.
Now, I can personally relate with this pilot, and the reason for that is I'll be playing some games, and I'll be playing some with, maybe I've never played this person before, and I'll be playing the same way I normally play, and then if I start taking damage, I realize, oh crap, I actually have to start playing. I gotta bring my A game. And it just feels like Ken Kirk is like that. He's like, oh, you know what, I'm just cruising along. Oh, you pissed me off. Alright, now I'm gonna really make it difficult for you.
I mean, it gives you an agility dice, goes from 0 to 1, which is, it can help. The thing that gets to me is like, okay, you need to be damaged, and you might. It doesn't work if only your shields are gone. So you could have your shields down, and then suddenly you take 3 or 4 hits, and all right, you're triggered his pilot ability now, but you're down. You're down a quarter of your hull.
Yeah, it doesn't help versus like if you get peppered a little bit to take your shields down and then you get a major hit. So yeah, absolutely, I can see how that. But you know what?
It's definitely a useful ability. I don't think it's quite as wow as.
Yeah, but you can combine that with countermeasures, for instance.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that we talked about last video, and that could definitely help. But like, he's neat.
Yeah.
You're gonna like Lebo, that we mentioned in the last video. He's gonna be. He's
got his place.
He's got his place, and you're gonna have that one player that loves flying him, and he's gonna work around it and come up with something that no one else has ever figured out. But I think he has a place, but not in my list because I like the next guy. You want to name him?
So Captain again. Can't pronounce. Okun. Looks like.
Yeah.
So the captain, pilot skill 4. I guess befitting a captain. His pilot ability is after executing a maneuver, each enemy ship you are touching suffers 1 damage. So this guy, he puts the Decimator to its visual purpose. It's a battering ram. Flies around and runs into people.
Get out of my way.
And it's just automatically suffers a damage, right? And no dice rolling.
Yeah.
No dice rolling. You can't evade this. Just if he hits you, it's gonna hurt you.
Yeah.
He is pilot skill 4 though, so I mean that does offset the usefulness a little bit. But he does have an elite pilot skill upgrade. Put veteran instincts on him. Suddenly he's pilot skill 6. He's a reasonable pilot skill at that point.
Yeah. No, the thing is that low pilot skill actually I think works to his favor because he gets to move first.
If you're in close quarters, it's definitely useful.
Yeah, so it's either one of two things. Either you're fighting a TIE swarm, and they're moving first, and they're either going to get out of your way, or you're going to run them over. So there's that threat. And higher pilots is if they even come close to you and you can run them over.
He's just going to do it.
You're going to do it. You're like, you know what? You position your guy in a place where I can run you over. Guess what's happening? I'm running you over. You're taking a damage.
And by the way, if you fly behind me, I still have a turret.
Yeah.
And then we got, your basic goober, he's a patrol leader, his pilot skill 3. 40 points.
It's 40 points, but you know what? The 40-point pilot skill 3, I mean, it's almost worth it to just spend the extra 2 points to get Captain Oiken. But
if you got 2 points, yeah, I'd say go for it. Otherwise, you know what? He's not bad. If you like running just unnamed guys, 40 points gets you a Decimator. It's a good ship. The only thing you're missing out on is elite pilot talent. You still have that vast amount of upgrade slots.
Yeah, I really like all of these cards. I definitely like Oiken the most.
He's cool.
And we'll get to the reason why, because here is the reason
nice
why.
Upgrades.
You can spice him up. So, but at the same time, all of them are fairly good. And what I like about the Decimator the most, in my opinion, is the fact that the Decimator can be fit with any kind of Imperial fighter.
Yeah,
you can bring a decked out Decimator with a Phantom. You can bring him with a TIE Swarm. You can bring him with a couple of Interceptors. You can bring him with a Doom Shuttle. You can literally, you can add him to whatever you want, pretty much.
It's a nice, it's going to be half your fleet total. But, yeah. I mean, Imperials are not lacking for either punchy, expensive ships or really, really cheap.
Yeah, you can run him in a mini TIE Swarm. Yeah, easy.
But, so, we got the dial. Now, his dial is interesting. See it here. The biggest thing that immediately jumps out is he does not have a K-turn. So this is, like the shuttle, this is a large ship that can't get instantly turned around. Unlike the shuttle, he has a turret, but he also has every other maneuver, barring 1 sharp turns, and a 5 forward. So
he can move.
This guy can. As long as he's going forward, he can go basically wherever he wants.
The most important thing to notice about this guy: no red maneuvers.
No, not a single one. And you're 2 forward and bank, and interestingly enough, 3 forward are green maneuvers. So unlike a lot of other ships, big ships especially, where your green maneuvers are confined to those very short range maneuvers.
Yeah.
This guy actually, if he wants to shed stress, he's going to be moving.
Yeah, and he can move. So, yeah, if you stress him out with, I mean, he's impervious to flechette torpedoes. But if you stress him out with like a tactician or something, or a rebel captive, I mean, he can easily,
if he needs to get out of dodge and shed stress, he's just gonna go 3 forward.
And you know what? If other fighters are gonna get in his way, especially with Oiken, they're gonna regret it.
He's gonna run him over.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the title first. Just because I obviously have a hard-on for Oiken. The Dauntless. So it's a title for the VT-49 Decimator. You want to read it?
So after you execute a maneuver that causes you to overlap another ship, you may perform 1 free action, then receive 1 stress token. So, at least for Oiken, this is, I think, kind of the definition of have your cake and eat it too. Yeah. Normally, you lose that action if you hit someone. This, well, you perform a free action. You know, the only thing is you stress yourself out. But as we just mentioned, he's got some really nice green maneuvers, so he doesn't really care.
No, it's super solid. It's 2 points. And nobody's gonna want to get in your way, and you are not suffering really anything for it.
You're that downside of I lose my action. It's not there anymore.
Yeah. Especially when you can like focus and target lock. You're not really caring about defensive options so much anyway.
No. At least not defense dice.
Yeah. So we got another double set of modification. As we mentioned last video, I'm really a big fan of the fact that they've come out with modifications that can be used on other ships. They've given you a couple of them so that you don't have to just be like, well, I gotta buy another 3 decimators. Yeah. So this is a 1-point modification, large ship only, tactical jammer. Your ship can obstruct enemy attacks. So that's solid.
He's not the Decimator. Yeah, he doesn't actually modify his attack or defense dice, but he adds defense dice for any enemy shooting through him. Yeah. Now the really nice thing is it specifies enemy, so he doesn't obstruct your own attacks.
Yeah. It's super solid with the Decimator. It's good. It could be a good modification for other big ships too.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not Imperial restricted, so you can use this on any large ship.
Yeah. The fact that it's a modification, the fact that it's only 1 point, the fact that it is good, you're really good.
It's nice. For 1 point, yeah, it's nice.
And the fact that you get 2 of them in this box, real winner. Alright, next one is Intimidation. While you are touching an enemy ship, reduce the ship's agility value by 1.
So this shouts out to be put on, again, Oiken.
The other pilot that I would love to see him have this elite pilot skill is Harville. He's the A-Wing pilot.
The original A-Wing blister.
Yeah.
So his pilot talent was he can attack ships he's touching.
Yeah. So the fact that he can ram into a ship, still fire at it, that ship has less agility, and everybody else is getting that benefit too. Really solid.
And Harville has 3 attack dice at that point. So.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's just one example of how these fairly cheap but good cards not only amazing for the Decimator, but also enhance your Rebel list, your Imperial lists, etc. You got proton bombs. If you haven't picked up a TIE bomber, you get proton bombs.
I know I'm excited for this. I haven't bought a bomber. I don't really care to. The thing looks like 2 garbage cans stapled together.
I like the bomber because it is 2 garbage cans stapled together. Also, The Empire Strikes Back is by far the best Star Wars film ever made.
That's fair.
And
no, proton bomb, very scary bomb. It's something we've seen before, but it gives you another source of it, which is nice.
Yeah. Alright, so you got 2 ion torpedoes. This is kind of neat. It's a 4 attack dice, basically ion for if you attack the defender and each ship at range 1 receives 1 ion token.
So it's not ion pulse missiles. It's not built to instantly ion any ship.
Yeah.
But this does not have what we used to see with ion of you discard all dice results. If you hit, you discard all dice results, and the opponent suffers 1 damage. This thing can actually do 4 points of damage.
Yeah.
And it can inflict crits.
It can. I think these are really solid. You might see on an X-Wing with munitions failsafe, and see a TIE swarm fire at the lead ship. Lead ship might go down, or even in a Howl Runner list, you fire a Howl Runner, and everybody that's stacked up on Howl Runner within range 1 gets ionized. So you blow up the main threat, and then everybody else gets to sit there.
That nice big whoomp.
AoEs, my friend, AoEs.
It's 5 points. It's fairly hefty in price, but I think for what it does, this thing can pack one heck of a punch.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you can put munitions failsafe to make sure that those 5 points don't get just wasted.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's talk about Ruthlessness. It's Imperial only, which is neat. I think this is the first Imperial only elite pilot talent.
So,
is after you perform an attack that hits, you must choose one other ship at range 1. The defender, other than yourself, so you can't hurt yourself. That ship suffers 1 damage.
so it's heck, your ship's just spraying and praying.
Yeah. Again, you put this on Oikon, and Oikon can drive over guys, shoot guys, damage more guys. Literally gives no shits. Like he's just like
He can even he can damage the one he's in contact with.
yeah. The choo-choo train's coming, and he's gonna just kill everything in his way.
The only downside is, if a friendly is the only other ship in range 1 of your target, you just shot a friendly.
Yeah. So what I like about Ruthlessness though is you can have, let's say you can have Oikon and a decked out Phantom. And that's your list. That's your 2-ship list. Now you can make it so that Phantom is nowhere near another ship easily. And both of those ships are brutal, and Oikon's still pulling his weight on the attack.
Well, I like it because, as we saw in the YT, there's some really nice tech for Biggs. And Biggs is, he's not as popular as he was, obviously, in Wave 1. There was only a few ships, but you still see him every now and again.
Yeah.
This gets around Biggs' ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to be shooting Biggs, that's fine. You're still going to be damaging whoever he's trying to protect.
Yeah. Like ion torpedoes, you get just a lot of spray.
You get some AoE damage, which is awesome.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of AoE damage. We saw those in the missiles, and that was really the only example that we ever saw. I mean, you also saw them on like the bombs and stuff like that, but they were really hard to pull off.
Yeah.
But now with Ruthlessness, ion torpedoes, and it's just any attack. It's not,
all you have to do is hit with it.
It's not a primary attack or it's a secondary attack. It's any attack. So I mean, you can double tap with ion torpedoes and Ruthlessness. You can hit them, hit everybody with an ion, and hit everybody for an extra point of damage.
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we've got 4 crewmen. So unfortunately, you can't put them all on a Decimator because he only has 3. As amusing as that would be. Yeah. But you have 4 crewmen that comes with it.
All right, so let's talk about the first one. It's a fleet officer. It's Imperial only. Action. Choose up to 2 friendly ships at range 1 to 2 and assign 1 focus token to each of these ships. Then receive 1 stress token.
So for 3 points, it makes your whatever ship this is on. I can actually see this on a shuttle a lot. But your ship is going to be supporting other ships. It's a very Rebel feel, actually. That internal synergy that you see in a lot of Rebelness. Yeah. But you don't in Imperials. This is bringing more of that just internal synergy between ships into the Imperial list.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things that I'm super excited for this fleet officer is it's an action, right?
Yeah.
So in our last video, we had the experimental interface that allows you to use actions and then get stress. So I'm not sure if they're going to errata that because then you could get 2 stress.
You can get 2 stress.
Yeah. But it'd be very interesting to see like your shuttle flying up and then uses these actions to not only give target locks out or stuff like that, but also gives focus out, and then next turn, and then a wingman or something pulls those stress off.
Yeah. No, it's definitely. I mean, for 3 points, it's a solid pilot or a solid crewman. I mean, with Dauntless, it would be amusing. Yeah. We're gonna keep pimping Captain Oikon, I think. Here, let's have Oikon ram into someone. He'll fleet officer for free, and yeah, he's gonna have 2 stress, but whatever. Yeah, there's gonna be a nice big bubble of focus around.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Mara Jade. Now, Mara Jade is Luke's wife in the expanded universe. But before she was Luke's wife, she was I believe, the hand of the Emperor, or something along those lines. She's a badass.
Yeah, she's a lot of people around here have been talking about her.
So she's also Imperial only. Go figure. At the end of the combat phase, each enemy ship at range 1 that does not have a stress token receives 1 stress token. So if you want to come at me and you want to get within range 1 of me, I'm going to stress you out. because you don't want to get anywhere near me.
No, and it's at the end of the combat phase, so I mean, it's not affecting that ship's turn during that turn, but next turn it's going to be forcing your opponent's hand.
Yeah, and they can't K-turn out or anything like that, so...
It's just automatically,
yeah.
That's...
Leave me alone.
It is me.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
You want to talk about Isgard?
Yep, so, Isgard here. Again, all of these crewmen are Imperial only. So at the start of the combat phase, if you have no shields, and at least one damage card assigned to your ship, you may perform a free evade action. So this is, this is very much like Kenkirk here. Isgard's card text triggers on no shields and damage. So if you put her on Kenkirk, suddenly Kenkirk has a free evade result, or a free evade token, and an extra evade dice. So he's becoming a lot tankier. I mean, he's getting kind of expensive at this point, but if I wanted to run Kenkirk, I think this is probably how I'd do it.
Yeah, it adds that defensive option. It makes him a little tougher. And the synergy is fairly well. It makes it so that if you were going to try to just hammer this guy down, it's gonna be a little more difficult, a little trickier to do for sure. And he has a lot of home.
What I really like is actually, I kind of want to put Isgard on the fire spray. So as soon as the fire spray is damaged, suddenly that thing has 3 defense dice.
Yeah.
Or it can perform a free evade action. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. This is a little nastier, so he can focus and automatically has an evade result.
Yeah. The fire spray will definitely be good for that. And even if you want to put it on the Phantom.
Yeah.
It's tricky to put it on the Phantom, though. But
it's a little expensive, but, I mean, hey, if it keeps your Phantom alive a little longer.
Yeah. You can also put it on the Shuttle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put it on the Shuttle, and it gives it a little bit more survivability, because the big complaint with the Shuttle is that it just isn't survivable enough.
It gives it access to an action it doesn't have inherently, so yeah, which is nice.
Alright, and the last one is Moff Jerjerrod. When you are dealt a face-up damage card, you may discard this upgrade card and another upgrade card, or another upgrade card with the elite, the crewman, to flip that damage card face down without resolving its effects.
So he's a sacrificial pawn. He's like very similar to Chewie. Obviously he doesn't do quite as much, but he's half the cost of Chewie.
Yeah, he's 2 points. And what's really cool is, again, I think I like him maybe on the Shuttle, because alright, let's say you have you see Darth Vader on the Shuttle, but let's say you have him and weapons engineer or something like that. Well, now you can fly around, and if you don't need that weapons engineer anymore, you don't have to suffer that crit, especially if that crit's going to take out your innate ability. I can see him being taken with any of these guys because their pilot skills are so good, and if you get you stunned pilot or something like that, and you lose your ability, your card deck's ability. That might hurt you.
Or that one turn where you can't shoot.
Yeah, that might really hurt you. So
I can see him, on a shuttle. You usually see what heavy laser cannons on a shuttle. If you're crit and you lose that heavy laser cannon, I'd spend 2 points rather than 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if he's just there to prevent that from happening. So all in all, a lot of Christmas for the Imperial players with this kit. I mean, the ion torpedoes and intimidation can be used, and the tactical jammer can be used with other fleets. But for the most part, you got a lot of good stuff for the Imperials. You got a lot of good stuff for the Rebels. But Ruthlessness is super cool. Intimidation is super cool. You got a lot of really playability with this. So I'm really excited.
So we're going to be putting the Decimator through its paces. Both the Decimator and the Outrider. We're going to have a game, and we'll see how the new ships perform. So as always, be sure to like and subscribe to the video. It really helps our channel out.
Yeah, follow us on Twitter, like our Facebook page, do all of that cool stuff, because, man, we're here for you guys.
We like doing it, and we hope you guys like watching it. So without further ado, we get down to business.